Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Sanders Teaches, and I am Chase Sanders, a National Board Certified Special Educator. And you see it, I finally got the microphone all plugged in and I think it's working. So we'll see if the audio on at least the introduction is a little bit better. I'm just not sure where to hold it. I know, like, I want to hold it in front of my face, but it, like, blocks my mouth and it just looks weird. So I'm just going to hold it off to the side and hopefully that looks okay. But anyway, today's topic is all about remediation and whether it has a place in education. If you're currently a teacher, you're going to hear the term remediation kind of vilified. It's the opposite of acceleration. It's what we should be moving away from. But in this video, I'm going to make the case that remediation does have a place, albeit small, in the field of education. So let's go ahead and get into it. I just listened to the intro and my microphone does work. So yay, I feel so legit now. Anyway, today's topic is remediation, and as I argue, it has a place in education. In this video, we will revisit the two approaches to helping students catch up, and those are remediation and acceleration or accelerated learning. And then I will make a case that remediation does indeed have a place in education. So to recap, there are two approaches to teaching students who are working below grade level. And one of those approaches is remediation, and that is reteaching content from previous units or grade levels that students did not learn. And then on the other hand, we have acceleration, and that is sorry about the lack of P right here, but that prepares students for new learning combined with just-in-time teaching of missing skills and contexts in the purposeful context of the current lesson. So to put it simply, remediation is teaching kids skills that they might have missed or that they lack. And then acceleration is going ahead and teaching those kids grade level content, regardless of whether they are on grade level or not. And then figuring out ways to teach those missing skills within the grade level content or lesson. And that's kind of a challenging endeavor. And so I would love to break down accelerated learning in a future video. But anyway, the problem that I see with current discussions on remediation versus acceleration is that people are treating the two approaches like a pendulum swing, or like kind of like a seesaw, if you will. So we have remediation right here, and we have acceleration right here. And currently, we are favoring acceleration in our talks about education, specifically on how to catch up students who are behind grade level. That remediation has kind of been pushed aside or dismissed as antithetical to the mission of catching students up. And of course, the previously acceleration and remediation looked more like this in the past, with remediation being prioritized. Before the concept of acceleration took hold, it was simply common sense to use remediation. So like, if a student is in 4th grade and doesn't know how to add and subtract, you would halt going forward and teach that student how to add and subtract. But the tables have turned since then, or the pendulum has swung, the seesaw has sawseed. I'm ridiculous. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on with acceleration and remediation. Sorry about my horrible artwork. I almost said I'll get better, but probably not. Not anytime soon. I will concede, though, that acceleration works the vast majority of the time better than remediation. I mean, the data is out there. In one of my previous videos, I present a study that shows definitively that acceleration is the more effective approach. However, I still maintain that remediation does have a place sometimes in education, and I will explain why. So acceleration will work for you most of the time. So let's say you're teaching kids how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators, and you're teaching them how to find a common denominator, and this is the strategy that you're using. You're multiplying one side by the other denominator. So it would look like this, times 3 times 3, and times 4 and times 4. But maybe the problem is that they don't know their multiplication facts, and 3 times 4 just does not come readily to them. There are a few ways that you can address that gap while teaching them how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So a couple ways: you could have them draw equal groups like this. So 4 groups of 3 or 3 groups of 4. I guess I'm going with 3 groups of 4. And then they would just count up the amount of dots. Although this way is pretty inefficient, so you could always have them use a multiplication chart to do the multiplication for that problem. And then you could have them practice those multiplication facts at home, or during independent work time, or sometime that is not part of the grade level instruction. And then let's say that you are teaching students to summarize a grade level text, and you have a kid that's reading a couple grades below level. Well, there are ways that you can continue teaching that grade level content and help them access the reading material. So you can have them read in small groups with or without the teacher's assistance. So that's just a simple way to kind of get those kids who are not reading at grade level to engage with the grade level material. But here's a situation where acceleration just does not work. And I've encountered this problem in my own teaching career. Frothy. I don't know why I thought of that word, but we're going to go with that. Frothy. And sorry about the handwriting. Writing on the computer is not that easy. But anyway, so most kids, they'll see this word and they may have heard of that word before, and they'll immediately know that it's supposed to be frothy. Okay? But some kids, specifically those with dyslexia, will not be able to read this word intuitively or naturally. It's not going to occur to a lot of them that the F and the R make the fr sound, the O makes the ah, and the TH and then the Y, and like blending all that together to make that word. It sounds like a lot when I'm even talking about it, and that's like what these kids have to deal with mentally when they tackle a challenging word like this. So it is extremely difficult if you're teaching like 4th grade reading, 5th grade reading, intermediate and middle grades. It's extremely difficult to incorporate phonics instruction like this, even though like so many kids need it. And that to me is kind of where acceleration has its limits. Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do within the realm of acceleration, but teaching kids phonics like this, and I'm mostly a reading teacher, I'm sure that there's math skills that are really hard to teach within the realm of acceleration, but phonics skills like this are very difficult to work within grade level instruction. Unfortunately, with the pendulum swinging so far in favor of acceleration, it is extremely difficult to find the time, space, and support to teach remedial skills like phonics. So remediation is very challenging to do within the paradigm of acceleration. But a couple of options that you have are to incorporate remedial skills like phonics during small group instruction, if that is something that you have the support to do, especially if your kids have IEP goals that require that. So, after your whole group grade level instruction, you break into small groups and then you give those kids more what they need individually. And phonics might be one of those. And then you could always start a before school or after school program for the kids who might benefit from working on those remedial skills. So that way you're not, encroaching on grade level instruction with remediation. But the problem with that is, of course, that time is still an issue. Small group instruction doesn't last that long, and before and after school programs do not have that much time allotted. And also, a lot of kids don't participate in before and after school programs, so the reach is a lot smaller. I have right here is Wilson Reading System, which is a great program for teaching kids those remedial phonics skills. But a average lesson takes like 60 to 90 minutes to conduct. So obviously that is a lot of time that we as educators don't have. So couple options there, but there's still obstacles that are limiting how much of remediation we can provide. But anyway, that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope I made a case that acceleration is definitely a great framework, but remediation still does have its place within education. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope the sound quality was better. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care.